On September 2, 2016, Samsung issued an informal recall and suspended sales of the Galaxy Note 7 after it has found that some of the phone's batteries have caused the phones to generate excessive heat, which led to fires and explosions. Samsung Electronics said that the discontinuation as well as the large recall had cost the company more than $5.3 billion.
My name is Tim Baxter, President and Chief Operating Officer at Samsung Electronics America. At Samsung, our highest priority is our customers, their aspirations, their needs, their safety. And with battery cell defects in some of our Note 7 phones, we did not meet the standard of excellence that you expect and deserve. For that, we apologize, especially to those of you who were personally affected by this.
In addition, deaths, injuries, and product damages have caused more than $1 trillion to the US economy as a result of product recalls. Interestingly, those safety recalls have been traced to how well designers have incorporated safety and considered safety in the design process. As a result, scholars have been urging designers to incorporate safety early on in the design process. Therefore, it is our role as designers to incorporate safety into our designs.
I think safety is absolutely critical in the design process. The only reason we create these artifacts, the only reason we design or engineer anything is because a human wants it, a human needs it, right? So we need to make sure that that human interaction with these products is going to be taking place in such a way that it's safe. It's absolutely critical. It should underlie essentially all that we do as engineers.
When people are part of the design process, we usually use user-centered design. And in that, safety is a really important factor in areas such as medical product design, because obviously there's human lives at stake in that process. But even things like the design of a water bottle, which seems very simple from an engineering perspective, there's a lot of ramifications for people's health and safety in that process. So safety is a vital component to engineering design.
As engineering educators, it's not very often that we directly address safety. So I think that safety gets offloaded to a lot of other metrics that we consider more often. Things like sustainability or just the quality of our engineered artifact, which isn't great because we're making these implicit assumptions about safety, which doesn't allow us to have direct conversations about it. So teaching things like FMEA, like fault tree analysis, is really the way that we need to start addressing safety in the classroom and in engineering education.
Some of the other approaches that can be used in terms of just more of a quantitative analysis is fault tree analysis, probability and reliability in terms of reliability of a system, or decision analyses, decision trees. These all can be used in terms of a more quantitative approach rather than just saying, yes, we should be safe.
As engineering designers, we should be reminded that safety is an ethically binding constraint to all engineers, as according to the National Society of Professional Engineers, engineers shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public.
In terms of safety, I think the basic ethical principles are very important. And the one that I always try to instill into my students as future engineers, that you should approach it from the consequences-based approach, which is one of the three frames of ethical thinking. In terms of consequences or utilitarian approach, you consider basically money. And so there is money to be expended in terms of safety, but then there is money to be gained from the benefits from the reduced number of injuries and reduced number of deaths in the extreme case. So I think it really works out well to be able to use some kind of cost-benefit analysis or some other quantitative tools to really justify your approach in terms of implementing safety. Because that's kind of the bottom line in most companies. They do look at money, and even though you may talk about some moral principles on ethics and things like that, I think the bottom line for companies is the dollars.
Overall, as engineering designers, we should be designing for safety and having safety consciously in our minds throughout the design process, as there is no value to any product or system if it is harming humanity.